back to the channel, man. Today we're picking back up on the Colorado. Right now it's kind of early in the morning. Braven's getting ready to head out to work. I need to get some disassembly done on this stuff here because Braven wants to have all of his brake calipers and all of his brake rotors all powder coated so that he doesn't continue having this problem. This is unfortunate, dude. He bought all this stuff literally brand spanking new and hasn't used it at all. They're just bare steel. They have no zinc coating on them, nothing. So they are just kind of going to shit, as you guys can see. That really does suck, man. I mean, this wasn't a cheap kit, you know? So anyhow, they're getting all covered in surface rust, and he wants to avoid from that happening. It's one of those things, dude. You put so much time and effort and money into a vehicle, it sucks to come walking up to it and seeing rust inside your wheel well. So I most certainly understand that. Anyhow, I'm gonna get this all taken apart. We have to completely dismantle the calipers because he's actually gonna have these powder coated. He has a co-worker that works with him up there at Hughes that does powder coating. So he's gonna give those to him and get them powder coated. Unfortunately, we won't get them back today to get them installed, but we'll be able to move on with all the parts that we need to get welded onto this rear end. So let's just get into this, dude. We have a lot to do in this video.
Alright, yeah, love you.
Love you too, don't work too hard. I'll see you in a couple hours probably. Alright, since Braven is getting these things powder coated, we can't just simply mask things off. So the difference between like what we just did with our Civic calipers, we went ahead and masked all this stuff off just to avoid getting paint all over it. With powder coating, the difference is you have to bake these in an oven in order to apply the powder and actually melt it on there, you know? It's the reason why it's so strong. We can't leave all this stuff on here, so literally everything's got to come off. The little bleeder right here, we got to get the piston out of there. We got to get the rubber boot as well as the O-ring that's inside of there. All of that has to come out in order to get them powder coated. But luckily these things are brand spanking new. I know you can't tell by looking at them because they're all rusted to shit, but they are brand new, so there's no brake fluid or anything inside of them. He still even has the little rubber boot protecting a little dust cover on there, which is actually really good since he's just been sitting out back. So sometimes it's hard to get that piston out of there. I've had good luck before using compressed air. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this bleeder back in so that the air doesn't have anywhere to go except for to push that piston out. No luck so far, but you know what? Since he does have this little dust cover, I'm gonna try to poke a hole in it so then I could put the nozzle of my air gun through it. Yeah, just like that. So now I can put that in there and it will seal, maybe create a little bit more pressure to get that piston out of there. Oh my, yeah. Yep, that worked. I'm glad I didn't have my finger right there. Good freaking Lord. Yeah, see, once that piston's out of the way, this guy just slides right out of there. And then there's also an O-ring inside of there. That is what actually gives you your seal. So this is a sealed hydraulic system. Whenever you rebuild a caliper, those are all the pieces that you replace. It's seriously this simple. And there is our O-ring. So I gotta put all this stuff up somewhere. It'd be nice and safe. So whenever we do get them back from powder coating, we know where this stuff is at. But yeah, there it is, man. That is the caliper completely stripped down. So now this is nothing but metal. Nothing but metal. And completely safe to go inside of a powder coating oven. Alright, so those of you who've been with the channel for a while, you probably remember this. But if you're relatively new to the channel, or if you haven't seen too many of the videos on Bravus, Colorado, maybe you're not aware of this. So he did convert over to the front spindles right here. These are off of a Crown Vic. The reason being is the Crown Vic has much bigger brakes. So it's kind of like a brake upgrade, a big brake upgrade for one. And for two, aside from the fact that the brakes are so much bigger, you're saving weight because the factory spindle right here, this whole steering knuckle from factory on the Colorado is a solid piece of steel and it's very heavy. Now the Crown Vic ones, it's kind of hard to tell because we have them all painted, but those are aluminum and probably a fraction of the weight that the factory ones came. So since being those are Crown Vic, that means he is running Crown Vic calipers, which are ginormous in comparison to the factory brakes on the Colorado. So if you guys are interested in that, we did cover this completely inside of a video. There is a little bit that you kind of have to do as far as customizing the Crown Vic steering knuckles. Basically, you have to change the hole in the top for the ball joint. The taper is different. We cover that 100% in some of the older videos, man. So you have to go back and see if you can find that. I know it's definitely inside of the Colorado series. Anyhow, we have to do the exact same thing with these guys. We got to get them completely stripped down. These have brake pads, they have sliders, the slider bolts and everything in here, and these are dual piston. So we got to get both of those pistons out, all the rubber, everything. We got to get these down to bare metal, the same as we did the rear brakes. Well, dual piston proves to be a little bit more difficult whenever only one piston wants to come out and the other one doesn't. But we'll get it. It's going to require some tinkering. And it also seems like these rubber seals on this one, like they're kind of pressed in. So it's possible this might get damaged trying to get it out, which shouldn't be a huge deal. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. They're brand new and you'd have to buy new rubbers for it, but I'm gonna try not to damage it. Oh, no damage. They just require a little bit more convincing. Alright, I got that piston just kind of lightly sat there against the O-ring. I'm going to use a clamp to hold it there. And then we'll pressurize it again, see if we can't get that one to move. God damn, bro. That was literally like a gun. That was crazy. Definitely be careful if you're doing this. Alright, got all the stuff that came out of this guy bagged up. So there's one of them all torn down, ready to go. And there's the Crown Vic rotors. So now we got all 4 rotors and all 4 calipers. These things are ready to go, man. I just gotta load them up and go drop them off to Bravus now. So like I said, he's gonna give these to a coworker that does powder coating, and we'll probably get them back probably in a couple of days, you know. Definitely not in this video. So that is what they look like right now. Next time you guys see them, they should look a lot different. What's going on?
What up, doggy?
Oh, yeah. All strip, bro. I used the compressed air to get them out. And these ones, like a bullet, dog.
Really?
Oh my god.
Jeez. Yeah, those are the ones from the junkyard, so they're already well lubricated.
Oh, are those used?
Yeah, those
I
are
thought
used.
those were brand new. But no, those were less lubricated. They were like seized in there.
Were they?
Yeah. I don't know, is it from you sandblasting them or something? Yeah, there was no lubrication in there, bro.
Well, these ones came out like a bullet, or these ones?
Those ones came out pretty easy. Like, they came out fast, but these ones were like stuck. So when it let loose, it like shot. Oh, I didn't. Take it serious, buddy. You working hard or hardly working in there?
We're working hard, like always.
Like always.
Like always.
I don't know if you guys know this, but he's no longer on the sales counter. He's actually in the back assembling transmissions and stuff now. So he does rebuilds and new builds, correct?
Yeah, I only do new builds. I don't do rebuilds.
Oh, you don't do rebuilds? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but it's it's all it's all basically remanufacturing stock parts, so it's basically rebuilding.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so now he actually builds the transmission. So whenever I need a transmission rebuilt in this old thing, I know what's coming.
I don't know how to build 406s.
Well, you're going to have to get to learning.
We're going to build a 480 for it.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah. Well, look at this guy, man. He decided screw work and he is coming home. I'm just kidding. It's actually been quite a few hours later. So back at the house, we're going to get back on the rear end. So what ended up happening with the brakes? So he's not going to powder coat the rotors. He was thinking about powder coating the rotors, but he did give the guy all the calipers to get powder coated, and then brought the rotors back home. But he sandblasted them at his job, got all the rust off of them. So we're going to end up just painting them at least. You know, the center section and the rib around the outside, so it doesn't get all rusty. But anyhow, moving on with this guy, first thing we need to do is get all the old stuff off. These spring perches that we literally welded on there. Don't you love that? All this nice paint too.
It's okay, I don't really care. You don't, but I do. I'm the one that had to paint it.
I was getting ready to say it.
Yeah,
I was getting.
That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, these are no longer needed. These are probably no longer needed and in the way, as well as these ones down here. So we need to get all the old tabs off because we do have a brace that's getting welded on here that we'll show you here in a minute. And some more Funkhauser stuff. Braven has the entire Funkhauser kit, man. So that is going to, there's a brace. That all welds onto the rear end, right?
Yeah, some tabs and stuff, just like these ones.
For the anti-roll bar?
Yeah, well, anti-roll bar, no, so these ones would be...
Shop?
I don't know if there's...
I don't know. We're going to figure, we got to get the kit out and look at it and stuff. We'll show it to you. But like I said, first thing we got to do is get all this stuff out of our way. So cutting something out like this, you want to obviously be careful not to get into your axle tube. So what I'm going to be basically doing to start off is I'm just going to cut this thing in half. So I'm going to cut straight down right here, separating, making a left and a right side. Then over here around the tubes, I'm just going to do a series of straight cuts. So I'm going to cut straight there, I'm going to cut straight there, and then I'm going to cut straight there. You don't want to get too terribly close to the tube because you can risk cutting into it. You want to get the majority of it off. So once I cut all those out and it's cut here, this section will come off, and then I can do this same cut on the inside, taking care of this side since it's so tight. And then we'll come back with a soft disc and actually grind the rest of it down nice and flat so we don't have to risk messing up the axle tube on this thing. And the same exact thing for all the tabs. You just want to kind of leave yourself some room. You don't want to cut too terribly close because ain't no reason to risk it, buddy. See? Piece numero uno. And then I'll do the same thing here. Doink. And then do the same thing there. You just take your time, chip away at it. You don't have to try to get it all in one cut, because that's where you're gonna end up messing up. Yeah. That's 10 ones, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, over it. Money talks.
Could have been done already,
Oh shit, what? Custom Peter. That shit's been done.
No, I'm saying with everything that you put into the fucking Colorado, you'd already been done if you had an S10.
Okay, comment section. Chill out now.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, I'm not a copy and paste kind of guy.
Copy and paste? All right, man, that took some time. So got the axle tubes all ripped down, got all the stuff removed that needed to come off. And check it out, we saved this little guy. We can put that back on after. It's upside down. The curry tag. I think this is the only stuff that we have to actually weld. You gotta wait for the camera before you start throwing stuff. Let me drop this side down. Yeah, so right now what we're needing to do is get this guy welded on. This is going to be the back support. Oh, does it bend? Oh, that looked fun.
It was pretty fun.
You didn't even let me record it.
Hold on, we can bend it straight again.
You don't have to. You're gonna end up putting weird marks in it. All right, take two. Action.
Oh, I don't fit.
Yes, that's sick. Anyhow, this is a cross brace that's basically welding this tube and this tube and the center section all together. Like, this is for like higher horsepower setups, you know?
So we need to probably take away some of the material.
Yeah, slowly round these and get it
sit flush.
sit flush in there. Or just freaking meh. Bridge that sucker, boy. Yeah, this is literally just off of Amazon. How much did you pay for that?
70.
70 bucks. Yeah, it's right off of Amazon. Hell yeah. And then of course new leaf spring hangers. So these guys are gonna end up needing to go like kind of way in here. So we're gonna have to open one of these up to fit this diameter, because I think it sits kind of like right where the weld is at.
Yeah.
But we'll have to figure that out here shortly. The thing is we're not going to be able to fully weld this in. This is going to be another one of those things that we're going to have to kind of just tack it in there, get it in the truck, and wait until we have the thing fully assembled with all the weight on it, so we can figure out the drive shaft angle and everything, the pinion angle. Because if we set it right now, it's most certainly going to change whenever we put a bunch of weight on the vehicle. All right, so there is a little bit of a gap in some areas. So we went through and we marked the relation of where this thing is sitting on here, so we know where we have to clear the paint, but then also where it's actually coming in contact with this guy. We're gonna go ahead and clearance a couple spots to see if we can't get it to sit in a little tighter. Alright, Braven's gonna start tacking this thing on here. While he's doing that, I gotta cut some pieces to fill this in right here. This is as close as we're gonna get it, man. The more we mess with it, the more it's like it's trying to just open it up. Yeah, these center areas right here, it's gonna make it's gonna cut a piece out to fill that in, so then he can go ahead and weld it all the way around, and then we'll just grind it down, smoothen it out, make it look nice. Toes. You could probably ground on this. Doink.
Ready for the text?
Yes, sir. Very nice, very nice. All right, it's starting to get late, man. We're Braven's gonna finish welding this thing all the way around, and then we're gonna call it a night, let it cool off, because he's been kind of taking his time welding portions, letting it cool, welding portions. So yeah, it takes a little bit longer when you gotta do that. But anyhow, we're gonna call it a night, and we're gonna pick back up on this tomorrow. See you then. All right, so we got this brace welded on here last night. Now moving on, we got to do the spring perches. So it's gonna get a little bit confusing doing these guys. It's gonna be a little bit more than just having to find exactly where to mount them. And the reason why I say that is because the area that we need to mount them is gonna end up being something like this, because of how narrow Braven's leaf springs now are. These are not going to be simply sitting on the tube like this, like they are designed to be. They're going to be way over here. So now, not only is the area that it's above this section of tube, that's part of the center housing, it's a much bigger circumference around here. So the size that is cut into this isn't going to work. And then on the back side is a flat area now with that brace. So that's going to take some cutting for sure to get that to sit where it is we need it to sit. So currently the leaf springs are sitting at 28 inches from outside to outside. So standing the axle straight up like this. This is how close I am capable of getting them on the actual axle tubes. Of course, we can't weld them here because that's the wrong position. But that right there, that's around 29 inches. So that tells me we are definitely going to have to get into the actual center housing some, you know what I mean? So in this position, I am capable of at least marking this. I gotta mark the thickness of this guy onto there so I know how much to cut. And then the back side of these are basically just gonna be cut straight. I'm gonna mess with this for a minute, and I'll pick the camera up whenever I make some progress, figure out exactly what we're gonna have to do here. All right, I got the first one figured out. I got it cut. I mean, I say figured out as in I got sit on there. What I'm gonna do is end up setting these to 0 degrees. So basically, I'm gonna set the rear end to 0 degrees, and then I'm gonna set these to 0 degrees. And that's just gonna be our starting point. It'll more than likely have to move, but for the time being, I don't really know what else I can do, you know, because I already know that whatever degree it is I set it at, it's more than likely gonna have to move once we get the truck all completely done and get all the weight on it. And if you don't understand what it is I'm referring to the angle that the pinion is at in relation, obviously, to the drive shaft and all that. Like, that's all like really important stuff, but you have to have all the weight on the vehicle to really set that angle, you know. So we have to find a starting point where we can just kind of tack these things in and we can get the rear end in, and then we can move forward. And then of course this is going to be something else that unfortunately we're gonna have to come back and revisit. But for the time being, I got this thing to sit in there nice and clean. Another thing that I'm kind of confused about is the U-bolts go around the axle right here, so they're supposed to go around the tube, and now we have that brace on there. I like you know what I mean? What do? Blow holes in the brace on both sides to actually pass the U-bolt through? I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what you're supposed to do, but anyhow, I still need to figure this one out. This one's gonna be different because this axle tube actually is a little bit longer than this one, so the center on this side ended up falling right next to that weld, meaning that this leaf spring perch is going to be half on the tube, half on the center section, but this side, the entire thing is going to be on the tube. So this one actually is going to be a little bit easier to get to fit in there than what that one was. But yeah, I just got to get it done. All right, got that one cut out, and it is sitting pretty damn exactly where it needs to be, both sides. But unfortunately, I do need to move them because I need to mark the areas where it's sitting on top and is still painted, and I need to clear that paint before we can do any kind of welding. So yep, I shouldn't have spent so much time getting them perfect because I literally just have to move them now. Like, to be honest with you, just doing this, it hurts a little bit, but it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. All right, got these things tacked on here, and I did a nice fat tack on there because, like I said, we might end up having to move them. That's the reason why I don't want to weld them in all the way. I was on the very last one. I just started and ran out of wire, so Braven took off to go and grab some more welding wire. But moving on, I need to drill holes in the back of this for U-bolts. So I'm gonna get Braven brackets out and his U-bolts, try to kind of mark exactly where it is that we need holes at, because the U-bolt's gonna have to go around here, so it's gonna have to go through this brace that we have welded on here now. Lovely. I honestly wish that we would have realized that before welding that brace on, because it would have been a lot easier to notch this thing with it off of the rear end, you know, just put some notches where the holes need to be. But it is what it is, man. Dun, dun, dun. So here are the the leaf spring brackets that the U-bolts have to go through. This is another Funkhauser piece. So this is all of the adjustability for the traction bar, and then there's a bracket that goes inside of here that gives you all that adjustability for your rear shock, and then it also has the mounting point for the anti-roll bar, and then it also has a place to strap the damn truck down. So yeah, definitely a whole lot built into one piece. And here's our U-bolts. All right, man, got this thing drilled out and kind of cleaned up. So now we'll actually be able to put these guys through here. Let's get it. I should be able to put U-bolts. So we are gonna have an issue with these air. Oh, look at that. So they fit over here, but they don't fit very well right here because obviously how much wider the center section is. So the idea is at least we're gonna be able to get these two on, and then the two insides, we might have to beat on them a little bit, you know? They might need a little bit of persuasion. But it is what it is. Hey, look, we saved the curry tag. So we can go ahead and weld it back on right there. But are you going to do that right now?
No.
No? Okay.
We're going to take the rear end back out anyways to weld all this stuff, so.
Oh. All right, so are we ready to put it in?
Yeah.
Alright, U-bolt time. U-bolt time!
You have shorter ones? Yeah. These are for those big old blocks.
Yeah, we definitely need shorter ones. If you have them.
There it is, guys. Got the rear end in the truck, man. Of course, we are gonna have to take it back out to paint it and clean it up and stuff, but we need to get it test fit, and we still have a lot more to do as far as the rear end is concerned. We have an anti-roll bar, shock placement, so another cross member that we're gonna have to put in here for that kind of stuff. We're gonna be covering that on the next video. Today's goal was to get this thing back to a roller, and for the sake of that, we got ourselves trailer tires here. We're gonna go ahead and throw these guys on, so it is officially a roller once again. Hey, quiet on set, you little fluffy asshole. Set the tabs. You do the honors. You gotta push it.
Oh.
It's gotta move an inch. It's gotta move at least an inch. There it is.
I got a heavy pig. Tire's flat.
Yeah, we have a flat tire. For whatever reason, bro, the valve stem on these wheels is like sunken in there, and like none of the air chucks that I have will fit that son of a bitch. But that's why we didn't put air in it. But there it is, dude. Freaking official. The Colorado is once again a roller. And look at that. Would you just freaking look at that? This is probably as wide as the factory wheel. The factory wheels that come on it is probably something like that. Like, look at all that extra tire space you got. And then look, all the way out here too. Oh, you do have the factory wheels, huh?
I do, yeah.
Anyhow, look at that, man. we got our goal done once again, you see?
One day at a time, man.
One day at a time. And that's what I always tell you guys. Whenever you have such a big project, something like this, you just got to take it one step at a time, dude. Don't get overwhelmed and be like, oh, there's way too much to do, and end up just going inside watching TV and going to sleep. You can literally just do one little thing at a time. And we just been setting ourselves goals, a goal every day with this truck, and we are achieving our goals. You know, if we got overwhelmed and didn't do anything, then none of this would have been done yet. Anyhow, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you guys are enjoying the Colorado build. I know a lot of you guys are, because I see it in the comments. Most certainly appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and watching. Peace out, guys, and we will see you on the next one. Later there, Rughead, with a haircut. Tell him bye, Toby. Toby, tell him bye. Tell him see you guys on the next one. Yeah, you too, puppers. Puppers. Puppers, tell him bye. Say, see you guys later. Pupper, come on. Spin around. Come on, show him the donuts. Show him the donuts. Come here. I gotta give him a little pet. Come here, Bubba. Okay. You gotta get him all wild up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a pupper. That's a pupper, 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 pupper. Alright, now do your donuts. No zoomies or anything? Alright, whatever. Alright, I see how it is. Dong a dong a dong a dong.